leaving Zion now. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. We got here probably about 10 a.m. Today has been the day with every bump we could possibly hit, we hit today. So, morning started good as usual. No issues there. And Bean actually had 2 poops still at the hotel. So we're thinking, great, he's not going to poop anymore. Why would he keep pooping? He wouldn't. And we didn't give him any Miralax because we were like, well, we don't want to be pooping. We're going to be doing a heavy hiking day. We don't want to be pooping on the trails. So we get to Zion. It's $35 to get in, but we already knew that, and it's a 7-day pass. Whatever, we pay it, and we're driving, and we know we really want to do the Narrows. And the Narrows is at the very farthest part of Zion. And so we're driving, and a lot of people are like, oh, you take the shuttle there, take the shuttle there, take the shuttle there, but there's like no parking in the shuttle parking lot visitor center. And so we're like, well, let's just start driving and we'll park a little bit farther down. I'm sure the shuttle will come to, parking lot B, D, E, whatever. And we're driving and we're driving, and it's a beautiful drive, just gorgeous. Going up hills, we're going over curves, we're going through tunnels, we see deer. Incredible drive. Until we realize that this is a scenic drive and it doesn't lead you to any of the trails. It's just like a bonus drive. And so we were like, oh, you know what? This ate up a good hour, maybe hour and a half of hiking. But whatever, it was beautiful. God has a plan for us. We're beautiful. It's on vacation. We'll just, there's maybe parking now. So then we pull into the farther, there's like 2 parking lots. We pull into the farther away one. And as we're pulling in, someone's pulling out. And we're like, see, our luck has turned around. This is perfect, just perfect. And so we start walking, and Johnny's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. He leaves us for a second. Then me and Bean see like a little stage area. I'm letting Bean run around. And while we're there, do our poops. And so I changed on the poop, and at the time, I thought, when I looked in the bag, last time I checked the bag, there was 6 diapers in it. And Johnny was like, hey, we're not too far from the car. Should we turn back and get more diapers? And I was like, no, babe, there's 6 diapers in there. And Johnny was like, what? I don't think so. And I was like, oh yeah, I know, show. I know there's 6 diapers in there. Well, I should have listened to Johnny, because there is only 2 diapers in there, which is a lot less than 6. And so we board the shuttle with ease, no problems there. And then the shuttle makes, like 6 stops?
They make 9, but they took out 3. Yeah,
6. So it's a 6 stops. And it kind of works like you can't drive on like the canyon trails. Only shuttle buses can to like.
Or if you're renting a lodging out there.
Yeah, or if you're like renting or lodging, I guess that keeps down on like erosion and stuff by them controlling this. So we hit our first stop, and somebody's like, "Hey, old people are boarding the plane or boarding the shuttle. Can anyone give up their seat?" My husband, he's a hero. He gives up his seat instantly. And so he gets up, and old lady sits down, and then I put Bean on my lap so that way old husband can sit with old lady. And Bean, little kid, alright, little kid drama, he starts getting wild. And he keeps like putting his foot on the old man. And that wouldn't be a problem except for Bean had some pretty dusty shoes. And he was like making the old man's pants dusty, and I kept being like, I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry, sir. And I kept taking Deor's foot off of him, but Deor kept putting his foot on this old man. I mean, he wasn't kicking him or hurting him, but he would just keep putting his foot over there. And so we finally get off of the thing. And the guy on the way in was like a great driver. Like every stop he would be like, there's this hike here, and this hike is this many miles long, and it leads you to this area, and this area is great for pictures, and this area is not, you know, he was a pretty good
Like
instructor. Yeah, he was a pretty good tour guide, because the guy on the way back didn't do any of that.
Try.
And so, and he like knew all these facts about like condors and everything, and he knew all their names. And so we get off the bus, and he's like, okay, there's the Narrows, which is the famous one, which is the one we're doing in the water. And then there's also the Riverwalk, which runs along the side of the water. And that one's a real easy hike. And even women with strollers and people in wheelchairs can do it. Like, they have it all nice and paved. And he's like, it's about a mile. And so when me and Johnny hear this, we take it as like, okay, so you walk this river walk for a mile, and then you hop onto the Narrows. Turns out that was not true at all, and it ended up being a 2.5 mile hike one way, and then you still have to hike the 5 miles that are the Narrows. So all in all, it's like a 14-mile hike if you do the whole thing, which was a lot more than we bargained for, because I thought like, oh, it'll just be a quick mile hike, and then we just turn around whenever we feel like turning around. And blah blah blah, it would only be like a total of 2 miles, not 2 miles to get there just to have it start. So the whole time Johnny's like just wanting to get there, and it's taking way longer for us to get there than it should. And we finally get there, and I instantly, like as soon as I get into the water, I instantly step on this rock, and it flips over and hits my toe, and I have pretty bad bruising on one of my toes now, and it might be broken. I might have broken toe in this. And I was like, ow, my toe! And Johnny, he's still wearing like normal tennis shoes that he's just like trashing. So he's able just to kind of like sprint over the rocks, because he's got like a grip, he's got better padding. And me and Bean just have like your standard like cheap Walmart like water shoes, like aqua shoes, which I totally thought those were going to be okay, because I take these same exact hiking shoes to Star Rock and walk around in the water in those, and I take them to Captain Swift, and we go to Captain Swift and we walk around in those. And I was like, there's no way the Narrows could be any more different than these main places. Turns out they're extremely different. There's so many rocks. There's no chill area. All the rocks are big. Everything I step on is slippery. It's really hard to freaking walk in these things. And Johnny is just like sprinting to the end, and he turns around, and I'm still like 500 feet, because my shoes are essentially just thick socks. So I'm feeling every rock, and then I'm trying to step gingerly because it hurts, but then there's like a current that's just strong enough to keep pushing me over. And so I keep tripping, and every step I take, I'm like, whoa, whoa. And then Johnny keeps turning around, and he's like, dude, are you coming or what? Like, I don't know if he thought I was just like joking around and being a prankster and acting stupid, but I legit couldn't freaking walk. And every step I took, it hurt. Not to mention, I'm like trying to be a trooper and hike with like a broken toe. And then Johnny gets a little bit of ways. So this is still within the first 3 minutes of actually being in the Narrows. Deor Johnny is like, hey Dior, let's go over like this area with like a lot of rocks and the water's kind of coming over it, kind of cool, like a little tiny cascading waterfall, little rapid if you will, but it's like not any more than ankle deep. And so Dior just like takes off a shoe and it's floating downstream. And Johnny's like, his shoe, and he's yelling at me to get it, and I'm far enough down that I could probably catch up to it. So I'm running after the shoe. Meanwhile, Dior somehow kicks off the other shoe. That shoe's going down too. There's this guy with a stick. He sees me chasing the shoe, and he's like, what are you looking for? I got a stick. And he, and I was like, the shoe, the shoe, the shoe. And then as he comes over with the stick, I kind of back off because I'm like, this guy's got a stick, he knows what he's doing. And then it goes like under the water into like dark murkiness, and then we just don't see it anymore. And then Johnny's like, he has no shoes, he has no shoes. And I was like, what happened to the second one? And here Johnny's like, it's gone too. And I was like, oh, look, I'm getting so frustrated, I'm getting flustered because my toes hurt. Everything I step on is sharp. The water is like a cool 31 degrees and it's only 60 out, and I thought that wasn't going to be cold because I'm from Illinois and I can handle coldness in the water, and I heard it was cold and I was like, nah, people, those southerners can't handle chill like I can handle chill. Talking up a game, but the truth is I stepped in that and felt like I was going to get a nosebleed because I was so freaking cold. And then and then so I'm like, Johnny, go down farther where like we entered and go look for that shoe. And I was probably being a little bit of a bewitch, and I was like, go down there and look for that shoe, and I'm gonna stand right here next to Dior because he's standing here with no shoes on and these rocks hurt your freaking feet. And as Johnny's going down there looking, in the distance I see a little tiny blue shadow creeping across the water, and I was like, oh gosh, there's one of his shoes. And so I was like, Dior, stay right here. And I run out into the middle of the stream. In the middle of this stream, it's kind of fast, and it's like probably thigh deep. And so I run out to the stream because I was like, okay, I could definitely get that shoe. So I run out and grab it, and I look back, and Dior's like, hey mom, I think I'm gonna start coming out too. And I was like, Dior, do not stay there. I was like, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. And so as I was coming back, Dior then decided to run the opposite direction away from me, up like the sandy trail full of mud. And I was like, Dior, get back here right now. Get back here right now. Get back here right now. And then he finally comes back to me because I'm like in the middle of the stream. So then Johnny kind of makes his way back. Johnny doesn't even know about this part though. And I was like, did you find anything? And he's like, nah. And I was like, well, I found one of them. I got one of them. And in the midst of all of this, Dior also craps his pants. Nowhere to change him. We're in the middle. We're in between two freaking 100. How tall are those, you think?
Really tall.
Like 100? Is 100 feet an exaggeration?
It's probably taller than that.
Taller, like a mile feet?
I don't know.
It's like a mile. Like we're wedged in between two canyons that are like really, really tall. Maybe a mile, maybe 5 miles, maybe 100 feet. I'm not really sure about distance. And there's nowhere, we're in running water. There's nowhere to change a poop diaper. And so we kind of go off to this weird ledge and we hurry up and change them. And this is the last diaper we have. And we're like, don't go to the bathroom again. You've had 4 poops. You had a small breakfast. We're eating a lot of granola and peanuts. Just don't poop again. Don't poop again. Like there's no way he's gonna poop again. Like that's what I'm thinking. And so Johnny's like, well, I was like, what do you want to do? We only have one shoe, but we're in like this once in a lifetime place. Like we've never been here before. We're thousands of miles from home. Do we really want to just squander it? So we're like, okay, well, let's just go around a couple of bends because it's real curvy. Let's just go around a couple of bends because we don't want to like just dip a toe and leave.